now so I can post this up later. So today is sewing day. So the
Yep.
next one we'll check in and see what are you planning on sewing if you are sewing, or if you're not, you're just coming to chat, that's fine too. And then are you doing the jelly roll? And if you want to share your fabric, and then if you've got any questions on anything that we can discuss, whatever. So we'll usually spend we'll spend our usual 1 hour or whatever. I was like, oh, it is jelly roll. So I have this jelly roll. I've never unwrapped it. I think it came in a the quilty box, and it was like lemonade.
Ooh.
And so it's like pinks. There's 3 colors: pink, the red, and the yellow.
Pretty.
I'm like, really, could that work
Ooh.
in like a jelly roll race? There would be a lot of touching. So you'd probably get a secondary, like not plus sign. So anyways, I got to look through and see if this is actually going to work for what pattern. In the group, there is some links to different, what do you call it, projects you can do with jelly roll, but whatever you guys have got, I'd love to hear.
Becky, I forget what the pattern was, but I did that one where the jelly roll, you did quadrants and one went this way and this way. And that one went really fast.
Yeah, with the square in the center. That's
Yeah.
the only tricky point, figuring out the square, but yes.
Yeah, it was simple. It was just a partial seam.
One, yeah.
Yeah, one partial seam that you sew up at the end.
And before we start that, let me show off. Okay, so next month we have the QCR mini ruler. So that's our quilt ruler, quarterly ruler. And I think Lucy's been working on this one, but she's like, what about the borders? And I had the borders wrong, of course. I didn't put the borders on. And I couldn't figure out what pattern or fabric I wanted. And I was like, I really want a flowered fabric. And then I looked at it, I'm like, you're not deciding, so just use the background. And I did. And it's like a little tiny yellow X.
Oh, cute.
Which I really like. So I finished my border on it. So this is the pattern that's going up for the QCR ruler next month, if you end up getting it.
Nice.
Ruler. And it actually works up pretty quick. I was surprised about using the curved ruler. It wasn't that difficult, and you do trim the block up, so it's very forgiving as well. So it's a little wasteful on fabric, I feel like with the half square triangles, you can get it pretty close, and then so you're just barely trimming something off. But I feel like with this one, you're trimming off a little bit more. Did you find that too, Lucy? Have you made any of the curved blocks?
Yeah, that's what I'm working on today.
Yeah.
Is that the way the pattern's designed, or is that the way the ruler works?
That's the way the ruler works. So they tell you what size to cut it, and then they show you like how to trim it with the ruler and stuff.
Oh.
Can you show that ruler again?
QCR.
Yeah, the QCR mini.
So is that like a slit? Okay. All right.
Yeah, so it has the slit in it, and that's where you put your blade and cut the curve. And this one is the mini, and I think, Judy, did you say you had the large one? Somebody said they had the larger one last time. Oh, it was Vicky. Vicky's hand.
So these were, I wasn't sure how to cut this shape for sure, but then I realized, well, it doesn't really matter because you're going to trim them.
Yeah.
And so it's going pretty fast. I mean, I've done curves before, so it's not too.
Yeah, and this one's very forgiving compared to like
Yeah.
the Drunkard's Path, where you have to match up, and this
Right.
one is like, no, there's a little bit of off on these sides. So
Yeah, but yeah, I love the fabrics I picked.
oh, I'm excited to see.
So
Yeah. And I think there was one other I think maybe it was Kathy who said she was going to be a project lead on this one as well, but she's not here, so I'm not sure how that's going. But oh, she had her retreat. Yes.
Oh, lucky duck.
She had her retreat with her friends or something. She's like, I'm not sure if I'm going to pop in or not. So I thought I'd show that off. That is coming next month. So yeah, and there will be other links in there. So Wonderful is where it is from. And they have quite a few designs that are free on their blog as well as paid, using the ruler. They're really cute. So yeah, there you go. So I'm not sure what to do with this, but I'll think about it. Maybe I did unwrap it. I got the plastic off at least.
Becky, it doesn't count until you take the tie off it.
Tie off of it and then let it shred all over me. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yep.
Oh, it's not pink sheared.
Jelly
That's
roll.
interesting.
Isn't that the that you don't?
Bobby, you broke up. Oh,
If
she's
you
broke.
use a lint roller before you unroll it,
Oh, yeah.
What a brilliant idea.
Oh,
So you just
Yeah, I've
roll
seen
it up.
that. before.
Yeah.
front ends, that'll pick up a lot of that.
If you don't have a lint roller and you've got
Tape.
packing tape, put it together to make a square, and just lay it on it, pat it, then pull it off.
Yes. Oh,
And
that-
the rest of it, your pants will catch.
yeah. Yeah. Worst case scenario, your pants. Bobby, I'm going to say if your Wi-Fi is not working so awesome, just leave your video off if you want. Sometimes the video sucks all of the Wi-Fi. So if you turn your video off, you can talk more. And then you can pop your video on when you want to show something, if that makes any sense. Yeah. All right. So who would like to say what they're working on? What are they sewing? Is it a jelly roll? Is it not? Is it? Oh, Penny's showing something.
Penny, what is that? It's gorgeous.
I am going to, I'm doing a quilt for my youngest daughter, and it's all these little hexagons, but they're pieced. They're all paper pieced. So I'm working on these. I've got 2 layer cakes. And
Oh, I love the color.
they're all, she wanted blue, so all of these
Pretty.
blues, there's, let's see, I've got some more somewhere here already cut. Yeah.
That's probably the only way I'll ever do a hexagon is in a block like
Yeah,
that.
this is, so they're all just different, and then just lay them out. I need 77 of them.
Ooh, wow.
They're not, let's see, they're just about an 8-inch block, 7-inch block. So that's why there's so many of them.
That'll be fun.
Mhm.
I like the fussy cut idea because with the paper piecing, you can move it around for the center. That's cool.
Right, yeah. that's- So I just cut a little plastic piece that I just move around where I want it to be and then cut it.
Yeah, like a little window template. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
That's what I'm working on today.
Yay! Who else? Joni's got somebody in her lap. She's not able to sew.
I've got,
Laura, what have you got?
I've got, I started this charm over the summer. It's floating pluses with,
Oh, cute.
with 5-inch charms of Hot Wheels fabric. And I have 4 rows out of 16 done, and we also are moving. And I thought I maybe should get it as a top before, instead of having all the charms loose.
Fabulous idea. What's your
Yeah.
countdown for move time?
I think I'm going to try. Is it that chain piecing where you do like row 5, 6, 7, adding on at the time? I've never done that. I think I'm going to lay it out on the floor behind me and try that. I don't know if anybody has any tips.
When I lay it on the floor, I do that. I pick up usually 2 rows at a time.
Uh-huh.
Once you pick them up, pin them on one side so you remember what side to sew. So pin it on the edge you're going to sew, because that's my thing is when I get it to the machine, I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's since we've got the pluses, it does make a difference where
Yes.
it ends up.
yeah, so pin it, and then pick those 2 up, and I do 2 at a time usually is what because then I'm not walking back and forth so many, but then I have two hands and I can do
Right.
two. Because then I know which one is first, like the left hand is first and the right hand is second or something like that. Yeah.
I had laid it all out and pinned it together by rows because I was just going to do, five, row 5 all the way across. And then I saw this other method where you were like chain piecing. and you
Yeah.
just kept adding. And I thought that might actually be better to keep all the pluses together that way.
The other thing I'm thinking is if you have it, if you are you following the colors of the pattern? Like, are you using a kit? Because the other thing I'm thinking is you could take it and with a Sharpie marker, block out squares and then lay the square out and chain piece the square, but it's like ends up to be a 16 by 16 and then you move to the next square.
So that's a good idea. I'm not using, I use my own fabrics, but I could take it to the copier and still kind of.
Yeah, and still kind of lay it out and then Sharpie marker the blocks and then lay the block out.
Right.
Block being one.
That might be easier. I was planning on using the family room to lay everything out, the whole thing, but the dog is there because I don't know if you saw my picture from yesterday. Yeah, well, the house is getting ready to go on the market and somebody came through the roof yesterday. So that's laid plans and all that.
Somebody came through the roof. What?
Well, we had a squirrel in the attic.
Oh,
And so we had pest control up there. And sadly to say, the squirrel did not make it, but he was looking for where the squirrel had gotten in and he made a bigger hole than the squirrel had
he
made.
stepped on the, he stepped,
Slipped.
yeah.
He slipped. He's okay.
He tripped and wasn't standing on the roof line anymore. He was standing on the rock, which isn't strong. Yeah.
Yeah. My dad did it every time he went up in the attic. So it's not the first time. It's just, we've got inspectors coming and, it's going on the market and
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the joy.
we duct taped it all up last night. So I was like, Chip and Joanna Gaines gone. But they're upstairs working. I'm in my sewing studio and all's good.
Yep. You're like, fine, you do your thing, I'll do mine.
Yeah. so
Yeah. Maybe the smaller blocks would work for you then.
Keep it simple, right?
Yeah. Yes.
You're-
Well,
you're-
have you found a house?
We have not found a house. And like Sue, our kids are kind of keeping an eye out for us. We have a realtor and he sends us stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But it's funny because my son-in-law is like, here's a house. It has doors, walls. And I'm looking at it going, no. I said, so my daughter goes in. It's like, no, mom's not going to live in that house. So it's good that my daughter knows my taste because my son-in-law is just very functional. It's like, it's a
Yeah.
house.
You're like, it works. There's no leaks. Look at,
Yeah.
there's no hole. Yeah.
No, and they want us out there. So the sooner we find one, the sooner we'll be out there.
How far are you going? What's
Yeah.
We're going, well, it's an 18-hour drive, about 1,800.
Oh, okay. Yeah. 18-hour drive. Yeah. Yeah.
So we're letting it, we're doing a lot of online looking and then they're
Yeah.
helping. But
We're kind of in the same scenario. We're looking and it's 5 hours away. So yeah. Yeah. But okay. Well, good luck.
thank you.
Wow.
That
Excited,
photo,
right?
Your sections. What's that, Carol?
The photo looked like your attic puked all over your hallway.
And,
It's like, I think that's more than a lint roller.
yeah. I was like, my first thought was, oh no.
Trouble.
And then it's like, oh, are you okay? Oh no. Like, you've got this long list and now that's even longer.
Yes. You're like, oh gosh, the joys, the joys.
We have, they're taking care of it and he's upstairs working.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah. You're like, next time bring a board or maybe two, one to stand on and one to move.
The
Right.
guy has to come back next week to fix the hole that the squirrel came in. I'm thinking I'd be so nervous if I was him,
Clearly. Yeah. Well, I mean, it is what it is. It's
It is.
not to hold people, that's why the roof line is there. So
Yeah, and
yeah, that's why the
he
truss
was
is,
okay. He was
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing.
Oh, that's good.
didn't pull his leg. Yeah.
I think his pride was a little injured.
Yeah. He has to admit it. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Giant
We
hole
were
in
his
your hallway.
first.
Oh,
Oh my
and
God.
not his last, I'm sure. So there you go.
I hope we're his last, but we have have a 14-year-old retriever who was sitting at the end of the hall, and she just kind of looks up, this leg's dangling down. It's like, oh yeah, whatever, back to sleep.
Like, that's not a squirrel.
Really. That's probably been more exciting.
Ah,
Oh my God.
oh my gosh. Oh, the joys. All right. Awesome. Oh, Pat's got hers. Ooh, Pat, yours are beautiful. Are those solids?
There, there's prints in them. It's flannel, the wool flannels. So I'm gonna do the jelly roll race with it. And I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna do the one with the 4 quadrants.
Yeah. That one's a lot of fun because it does go pretty quick. And because there's the 4 quadrants, you can kind of square them up so they are nice size. It doesn't get skewed because sometimes the jelly roll race gets skewed because you're all sewing the same direction. So yeah.
I
Okay.
read somewhere where if you're doing the jelly roll race, you should do right to left and the next row left to right. And that'll
Right
keep
back again. Yeah.
skewed.
Yeah. Okay, hold them back up one more time. I want to see them again because those are beautiful colors. Is this from like Moda or?
Yes, it's Moda.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah, with the dots. Okay, I see.
Please talk so I can see it.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
She has to talk.
Pat, talk.
Oh, yeah.
Pat, say something.
You have to talk and show.
Okay, it's a variety of colors, anywhere from golds to browns to reds to purples to greens.
Very pretty.
Greens, there's some gray in there.
That'll be fun. Ew, I'm excited to see how that turns out. Yes. Who else is working on something?
Beautiful.
Nobody wants to fess up. Joyce, Joyce is showing.
Yeah, I just went to Walmart and bought a couple of these packs, and so it's kind of tropical. I'm going to think that I'm sitting in Hawaii doing this today, and I think I'm going to try the one with the quadrants. Although I'm a little worried about the Y seam.
Well, when you get there, we can talk about it.
Me too.
It's actually just a partial seam. It's not really a Y seam.
Okay.
So
Well,
I
I've
can
done
walk-
those once before, so maybe it'll be
Yeah, they're really easy. I can walk you through it. And
Yeah.
okay. And I'm a little worried about that. Don't you sew and then cut in places, or no?
sew and cut.
You usually sew to a certain stop point, and then you can sew the other line to a stop point. So it's
For the
not that
partial?
you go from edge to edge, you stop early. So you can sew and so you can fiddle with the fabric and make a new seam line, and then you don't start on the edge, you start a 1/4 inch in. So that's the only thing that's a little tricky, is just stopping at the right place and starting at the right place.
Well, I also know how to use a seam ripper, so I guess if I don't stop, I'll figure it out.
And that's,
Yeah.
and that sometimes works as well, because you just snip the last 2 and
Mhm.
then you can refold it, line them back up and go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
really
I'm
just,
gonna give it a go.
yeah, it's really easy, Joyce. You can do it. It's just the very first seam. So the first seam, you don't sew it all the way. You leave I leave a good inch or so.
Okay.
You sew the top part to the block, and then you sew. So then depending on which row is straight, then, so say now the right side is 2 pieces of fabric. Then you sew your next piece to that. No partial seams there. And then you do the bottom seam, no partial seam there. And then you do the left seam. And then you go back and do your partial seam.
Okay.
Your first one. You just finish that little inch or whatever that you left open.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give it a go.
Yeah, partial seams are real easy. Y seams are hard.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Y seams for me always leave a little pucker. And so then you're just,
Yeah, I can't get
maybe
them.
if I sew more pucker. Well, if I unpick it, less pucker, but it's still a pucker, it's just obnoxious. So
Okay.
So
And
these-
then you just have to whack it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then you just whack it to death, spray it and whack it.
Get the clapper. Get
Use the clapper.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Anvil.
I thought my woolies were from
Modern Up. Yeah.
Maywood. Maywood Studios.
Oh. Okay.
And it's a nice, thick.
A nice thick flannel.
I know, yeah, the woolies are really nice. I did a rag quilt with a layer cake for my son a few years ago with woolies, and they're real heavy.
Oh, that'll be nice.
Did you cut the squares, the 10-inch squares smaller or leave them 10 inches?
I left mine 10 inches, but I did a 1/2 inch seam because
Yeah.
for the rag quilt
Right.
to clip it.
Because I bought
So-
to do that.
Yeah, so it ended up being 9 inches a square finished, and it worked up really fast. And
That's-
so I had, let's see, I think I had a layer cake for the front, or maybe 2 layer cakes, I can't remember. And then I just cut yardage for the back squares and used flannel for the batting for in between. So instead of using batting, I used another layer of flannel.
So you
Yeah.
have flannel on the top, flannel in the middle, and then a fabric on the back.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
flannel on the back.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I made 3 so far, and they all come out just so warm and cozy.
Yeah, it has a nice little weight to it too. So it just sits
Yeah,
on you nicely. Yeah.
It just takes a while to do all the clipping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Louise would like to know what the Y seam is. Exactly what the Y is. You're coming into a point of 3 seams.
Right,
So
say
you can only go
say you have a-
partial, and then you finish that last one, but all of these 2 stop at a 1/4 inch to the edge. This one starts at a 1/4 inch and goes to the end.
and
Oh, okay.
usually- Yeah, if you're sewing triangles into like a V shape or a Y, it's a Y shape basically.
Yeah,
But
it looks just like Y.
rather
Monica's
than,
got,
you know,
Monica's
regular-
showing something. Monica, you're on mute though, so you're not going to show up. There you go.
Yeah,
Oh,
oh,
yeah, there
sorry.
you go.
Yeah, I was hoping, y'all would see, but I was just showing her an example of the Y.
Yeah. So the
Oh, yeah,
background with
okay.
the green and the red.
Because once you do this seam here or whatever, like to attach this one or attach the next one over, they're not gonna just line up the way your squares would. So you have to stop at a 1/4 of an inch on each section.
Yeah.
But even with the Ys, just like I came in late, so I didn't know exactly what she was explaining, but I could tell she was talking about the particular order you sew things in, made it easier with the partial. Same
Yeah,
with
that
the
was the
Y. I
partial.
found there is particular order that decreases the pucker. So if you, because once you flip it or turn it a certain way, the seams actually lay. This was my first time doing Y seams, by the way. So I ended up thinking it came out pretty.
It's really nice. It's very nice.
Yeah, it is really nice.
Did you make
Great
your star
job.
first, Monica? Did you make the star first and then add the background, the white parts to it? So then you went back with the top of the Y. Okay, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I had to do Y seams with my Lone Star wall hanging. It's a pretty good size, but
Yeah, and Lone Star is typically the pattern that uses it.
yeah.
Yeah. That introduces you to Y seams.
Yeah, so your background has to be sewn in with a Y seam in between your points, in between your star points.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just keep with the jelly roll race with the square in the center that has not a Y seam, but a partial seam.
Just a
Let's learn
partial.
that one first. Bobby, you have your hand raised. Yes, Bobby.
Yeah, some help. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Connection.
can.
You hear- Oh, okay. You can? Okay. Well, I'm going to work on Homestead and I need help picking material. So I'm just starting section 2. So I'm doing this one. And I was going to use these as my dark and my medium,
Your video's not on.
but I don't.
Oh, there
There
you
you
go.
go.
There you are.
But I don't know if I should put yellow with it or, oh, or a cat or green.
Cat. I vote the
I vote cat.
Damn. Oh my God. Sam, move.
Who wants to come play?
He's all, what color are you talking about? Let me look at that.
Oh,
I like the yellow. I'm partial to the yellow. Anybody else have a thought on that?
I like the yellow. I like the yellow.
or so we can see it.
I think she.
Yeah.
How do you guys get it so you can look at them all the time without them having to talk?
So if you're on your iPad, so swipe the screen and more people will show up.
If okay.
Change the view to gallery.
And change the view to gallery. So if you touch your screen in the right-hand corner will be 9 little dots and it says view. Click that and it'll give you an option of gallery.
On my iPad, the gallery choice is in the top left. There's like a switch camera, and then just below that, right now, mine says switch to speaker.
Hey, it worked.
We're all here. Do you see us now, Lorraine?
I see. Oh, I don't know if I see 9 people.
Yeah, okay, so you're gonna have multiple screens then. So then you can swipe the screen and it'll show the other page with more people.
I think we got 17 here.
It's a whole new world.
And if you touch on their face, so if you see multiple people talking and you touch the person that's talking, it'll say pin. So you can actually pin that person so you won't lose them. Yeah. And then you can unpin them when they stop talking or when they're done showing.
I never knew what pin meant.
Yeah, that holds their position so you don't lose them when they stop talking.
I really need to take a class about all this, huh?
You're doing it right now. You're doing it right now.
Yeah.
Really, that's great. Hey, can I ask a question that might not be allowed?
Oh.
If it's not, just tell me to be quiet. It's
Why
fine.
not?
Okay, in June in Indiana, there's a Shipshewana. Does anyone know about Shipshewana, please? Okay, it's a huge Amish community and a huge quilt community. And it's in northern Indiana, up near Michigan, Chicago area. Well, east of Chicago. But anyway, there's a quilt retreat, June 23rd, 24th, 25th. And I want to go, but I don't have one to go with because none of my friends quilt, a silly bunch of people. And I want to know if someone wants to come to Indiana and go to Shipshewana on a quilt retreat, a live one with people.
Man, I'm gonna look into that, Lorraine, because I'm in Western Illinois. But,
Hey, there you go, Shipshewana.
I see it. I see there's one in April and there's one in November.
There's one in June, 23rd, 24th, 25th.
I wonder if it's.
They moved the big quilt thing. It's called the Expo, I don't know. But this time, they usually have like 40,000 people. But
Oh,
but they have because of COVID, it's going to be in 2 different of the convention centers, the Blue Gate Inn and Farmstead Inn.
Oh, smart.
And by the way, the breakfast at the Blue Gate Inn that's included with your room has gluten-free offerings. All one side is gluten-free. It is gluten-free heaven. Okay. That's a big deal.
Well,
But
I found a
anyway-
Shipshawana quilt retreat, and I don't know if that's the one you're talking about because I don't see.
Okay, hey, can
I put it in the chat if that's it, but you could.
Okay, I will look on my iPhone at my email because that's where I got. We go to
Oh, I
Shipshawana,
see it.
the biggest, what do you call it?
The quilt fest.
The biggest flea market in this whole area. It's 40 acres. And
Oh,
people go there every weekend for this flea market. And so the quilt retreat they do during the week, so it all doesn't clash.
right.
But let me find it. Hey, I even found out you can search your emails.
Yes.
Move
Oh, look. Oh, how pretty.
She's becoming a tech expert.
I know.
Hey,
Lorraine's going to teach us one day.
when my son got me this iPad for Christmas, I opened it up and I'm like, what do you do with this?
What's this for?
They
Well,
left
I need a new one because the reason why I'm on my phone today is because my iPad has died.
Oh,
Yeah, the battery is no longer viable. Like, so even having it plugged up, it still will not charge.
Okay,
That's how old the battery is now.
can I show this to you like this?
yeah. But
Can
you
you
have to
see
hold it. You have to hold it in front of the video. Move it
Where is
right in
that?
front of your face. Yep, right there.
Quilt festival. Okay.
Okay, that's the one I did find. So I put a link in the comments, and then I did find a Shipshawana quilt retreat as well, but it didn't have the June dates. But
Well, they usually they here I'm gonna give there's the rest of the little thing. But they have this 2 or 3 times a year, and I mean it's huge because there's something like 65,000 Amish people live in that area.
yeah, how fun is that?
How much what?
How fun is that?
Yeah, it's awesome because you know what? A lot of them have quilt shops in their home.
Oh, wow.
And you can go out to their homes and they're so sweet and they show you around and you go and their fabric is just, I just love it. I mean, I go there twice a year and drag my friends and they get really mad, but they get over it.
Yeah, that
So-
sounds awesome.
Is interested, let me know because they all turned me down about going. They knew.
Well, put if you have a link directly to that retreat specifically, because I can't find it.
I don't know what a link is.
Well, no, in the group. So if you find it, if you could put it into the group in the.
Or you can forward that to
then we can
Becky.
look at it. Yeah.
Maybe it might be an event in the festival.
Yeah, I see I see the festival.
It's called Visit ShipshaWanaIN.com. I think.
Yeah, that's the main website.
Oh, wait, additional information. Anyway, when you want to go to there's classes all day, there's vendor malls all day, and
it looks really fun.
And the food up there at the restaurants are wonderful.
Okay, well that sounds fun.
And there's a theater, and hey, we can get a group of 25 and you got huge discount.
Yes. That's awesome.
So I don't know if that was okay to bring up, but
No,
I
that's
did.
always good because who knows? We don't know if we're in each other's backyard. So once you mention it, if we're close enough, that sounds like a fun quilt festival, anyways. So yeah, something to look at for sure.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Who else has got something they're working on?
Oh, and here's what I'm working on.
Oh, those are pretty.
I'm trying. Where'd you go? Where are you? Oh, there you are. I'm glad anyway, that's for, okay. Since my surgery, I have been so stressed out and I could not figure it out why every day I was losing. And then yesterday I figured out, and Becky, I need to thank you because I figured out that I needed to journal in my project planner because I had like 8 or 9 different things working on at the same time, and it was making me crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And now I wrote it all out and I have a plan and it's doable. But working on all 9 at once, running from here to there, and the pressure of the dates and everything, I was a Looney Tune.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Yeah.
Thank you.
We seem to overwhelm ourselves with everything, but then when it's like, if it's on a list and I can know where I'm at, it actually is okay.
Yeah, it's not up there in my brain playing ping pong.
Yeah. Oh, and then you're
I
right.
use
That's the thing.
Oh.
Louise, what are you doing?
I use your sheet thing. I don't have your planner, but I use this, and I just check mark the stuff. And it's visualizing, and like she just said, it is stressful when you just go in and out, you don't know where you're going, but this has helped me to visualize what should I work on, don't start anything new, and it's helpful. So I don't do the jelly roll today because I already had done one. I'm sewing the binding, but this is from a jelly roll. This one here.
Wow,
that's so cute.
That's pretty.
Yeah, I did one with a friend. So in one jelly roll, we were able to make 2 of these quilts. So,
wow.
Yeah.
What's that called? What's that pattern called?
Spinners.
Spinners.
It wasn't, I remember, I don't have the book with me because it's packed because we're in transition of moving. We're renting and we're going to move. And it was in a small book, but it's called Spinners.
Okay.
Yeah.
All moving together.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's like a.
That's way cute.
It is.
That is beautiful.
And you get 2 quilts out of the one.
Yeah, I think so. I may have had a little bit more like for the background stuff, these little squares, those ones. That was not in the white. And I'm working on that today, the binding and also the star cube. I'm actually quilting it. It's on the machine now.
Oh, fun.
So between that and this, 2 things.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. You got a nice little pile. I love your black and white behind you anyways, too. I have to say that.
Yeah, I actually modify, there was the yellow point that I put in there because I thought it was thing yellow, but I did not have no yellow. So I changed it to the gray, but I don't know, there was something about the yellow part. My eyes just didn't sit on it. And I removed that. I want to do all that and put black instead.
Oh, I like it a lot.
So yeah. Maybe in 2 weeks, I don't know. It's going to be finished and then I'll post it on the Facebook.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Monica, you have your hand raised.
I just wanted to contribute to the working on stuff. So I too am not doing a jelly roll. I actually did one a couple of weeks ago for the children's clinic. However, I'm having really tough time with arthritis right now. My lupus is flaring. So some days I can't really,
I say my pinchers aren't working. My pinchers. Yes.
So I figured this would be a perfect opportunity I started pulling out all of my little buckets of scraps that I have stored in different things. And I said, maybe I can work on doing little scrap blocks, just sewing scraps together. That's
like
my goal today.
Mile a minute or crumb cakes, what Bonnie Hunter calls them. Yes.
That's what I'm going to work on today. I figured that's an easy way to knock something out.
No
and I
precision
did
needed.
finish.
Yeah.
I caught up with Homestead last night. I'm so happy. That was a accomplishment because like I said, I have not been having a good week.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can get this in the screen decently.
Oh my gosh.
So let me see that.
Gorgeous.
That block.
Ah,
Yeah, your batik choices are fabulous.
Love it.
And your flower is wonderful too.
The flowers, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I love it.
It's upside down, isn't it? Ha ha ha.
I'm like, I didn't even know, so I don't know. What are you gonna to do for the applique?
I just, you know what? I wanted to try something new.
Yeah.
So I tried to do the little turn down or whatever.
The needle turn?
Yes. After I pretty much banged my head against the table, I decided to go ahead and just, it was not working for me. I just could not get it to like come out. Well, I shouldn't say that. I could get it to come out right, but then it seems so thick.
It is a little bit, and you have to have a smaller seam. So you're curling over just 1/8 of an inch. My problems are always the points.
Wrapping it all and did what I knew and just cut it and just did basic, just your raw edge.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I don't mind raw edge, and I use matching thread, so it just kind of hides and disappears. And I like the texturial thing, so yeah.
Yeah. So
perfect. Done is wonderful. Like, yes, not getting hung up on it. Yeah.
How many of you have used nylon thread for your raw edge applique so that you don't have to match your colors?
My mom did for a while. You just have to fiddle with your tension. Yeah, but she loves, I think it's called Smoke, the monofilament Smoke. And she loves that one because it really just disappears and blends into anything that you're sewing on.
I have Smoke for the dark fabrics, and then I have the Clear for the lighter fabrics because you can't use Smoke on the light fabrics.
Yeah, because that one does show. The other thing is it is a thicker thread. So yeah, you have to play with the tension. And then are you going to use monofilament in the base, in the bobbin? Some people do that and some people don't. So it just depends because it really goes thick.
I used bottom line.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else use that method?
Not that thread, but
not that thread. Yeah.
I wanted to explore it, but I know I've done it with not necessarily applique. I've just used it on other things before. And I've noticed for me it's machine dependent upon whether or not I put anything in the bottom or not, because I have some machines that just don't like it at all. And then I have another machine that it's perfect.
Yeah. 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 And might have to check your needle size as well with that one. Yeah. If you run into issues, but I've never done it, but my mom loves that method. So yeah. And I think she uses the zigzag with it. It's like it's a teeny tiny zigzag, teeny tiny.
Right. Yeah, I use it's like 0.9 or 1. I don't get it any wider than that, and then just real short, close together too. And it lays down so much nicer, and then the edges don't seem to fray quite as bad as they do with some other threads.
Yeah. And I know some people use fray check on there too after they sew it down, so then it like keeps it in place as well. Yeah. Yeah.
And what was that thread called again?
It's Smoke. Which one is it, Penny?
It's a monofilament.
She's going to find it. Yeah, it's a monofilament, and the Smoke is kind of like a tan, khaki, dirty watercolor. And it blends into everything. Just like dirt does. It's just like, yeah. Carol, after Penny shows us her thing, Carol's next.
This is the Smoke.
Oh.
It's called Wonder Invisible Thread.
Wonder Invisible Thread Smoked.
Oh.
Yeah, interesting. All right, Carol.
Okay, so what I did, we along the moving theme, we are not moving, but we moved my long arm into the sewing room. It was in the sunroom, and we moved it. I had to take it in to have it serviced, and my husband and I were talking, and I was like, I think it'd be better in the house, and so we did that. So in moving, I discovered a lot of unfinished projects.
You had to touch a lot of things.
I had to, because he does stained glass, so we moved the stained glass to the sunroom. And so we just touched a lot of things. I had to empty a cupboard out in the sunroom for him that had stuff in it. So I found a quilt this morning, which was it's like it's about 45 by 45. But I think it's probably been in there for like 5 years.
Oh,
It needs to be
congratulations
bound.
on finishing it.
Yeah, so it's finished. So I think I'm gonna put that in a place I'll remember and give it to my daughter for Christmas. So it'll be the place to remember. And
yes, planning ahead.
so I got that, and everything was ready for it too. Like the binding was cut, it was pressed. I never put it on.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? I love it.
It is. And I thought, well, that's crazy. So I got that done this morning. And the other thing I planned to do today was just some improv stuff. I took two like colors, and I just hand cut squares, which I'm finding I'm not good at cutting squares, but that's okay. That's why it's improv, right?
Yes, I was like, they're not supposed to be perfect, Carol. It's improv.
And
Yes.
it was bothering me a little bit, but this is something new for me, so I'm just like, I'm going to do that. So, and I'm just going to use a white background for it. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, last year we did the recess quilt, which was like taking a break from the rules. And so you could look at a few of those. And every month was a different prompt, like checkerboard 1 month, flying geese another month, half square triangles another month, long and straights. So you could watch those if you wanted. And I know Amy from Amy's Creative Side, she has a YouTube channel and she does modern quilt blocks as well, modern improv. And I know she's got some good walkthroughs on that. But yeah, it's hard at the beginning because you have to be okay with whatever. But then once you get into it, you're like, this is kind of fun because it doesn't matter. Yeah. And it's really like, what is your eye like? And don't listen to anybody else. It's kind of, you just get to play and perfect it for yourself, which is fun. But yeah.
And then if you sew something too perfectly, you're like, oh no, that's just not good.
Then it stands out, right? Yeah. Right. It stands out. You're like, something's not right. It's because it's perfect.
Well, my mom is very much a perfectionist, and she is always like, oh, I ripped that seam out 10 times. It's like, let it go. Just let it go, Mom. But then I'm like, I didn't think this would be like hard for me not to have perfectly square squares. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'm a little caught up in my thing because I'm really good at, well, that's just an opportunity to be creative and, cover something up or do something else. But
yeah,
it's hard looking at my squares, but it'll be okay.
And I say don't work on it for a specific amount of time. Don't give up because sometimes we let it go before you find your groove in it. And so you're like, that wasn't any fun. But if you keep going, you'll find your groove and you're like, oh, that is kind of, a little bit fun. Just a little.
Yeah.
That Vicky?
You've talking improv. Have you watched Mama's Boy? I'm pretty sure that's his name. He was on 3 at 3 for my girlfriend's quilt shop. And he worked with his quilt guild. They wanted to do an improv block and they did the log cabin. And they did it just one bigger block. And then they chopped it in pieces and turned it around and sewed it back together.
Oh wow.
I want to try that. I've got all my fabric lined up in a box. And I didn't realize we were doing this today, so I'm not prepared.
Well, Well, it's a chat day. It's a chat and catch up. See who's moving. Apparently, that's what our topic of choice
Yeah.
is. The moving.
Where are you moving?
What?
Are you moving?
Possibly so. Yes, my husband's building cabins 5 hours away, so he's doing the travel thing back and forth. We're trying to decide what to do.
You just remodeled your house.
Isn't that the story? You finish it how you want it, and then you have to leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect, just for you.
We refinished our 2-layer deck last summer. It's gorgeous. Somebody else is going to enjoy it.
Oh gosh.
Maybe y'all could move to each other's houses.
I was
Is that-
wondering.
Anybody
have a house in
sewing
South
hallway? Anybody want a sewing hallway? Yeah. At the dead end. It's at the dead end though, so it's okay. Hey, I won't complain about it because I love it. And it's got a walk-in closet to die for. So no. But if a sewer doesn't buy this house, they're gonna be like, what did you do down here?
So
Every time
Mindy,
we move, that's been like a priority. I'm like, we have to have a sewing room.
yeah,
We have
absolutely.
a sewing room, period.
In fact, he was looking at a house last night and I'm like, I don't care. Where would my sewing go?
Yeah.
I don't care if it had crappy floor. Where would my sewing go again?
Many years ago, I made belly dancing costumes, and sequins get into the carpet. And when we moved out of this rental, the landlord was like, "What the heck were you doing here?" Because I would vacuum, and you would still find sequins all over the.
He's like,
It was a very happy house.
Were you a pole dancer? He's like, what?
Oh, I was in a hula and belly dance troupe, but yeah, they were probably thinking.
Oh,
And then when we moved, another year we moved during December, and I've always sewed costumes for several dance companies, and so I had tutus. It was Nutcracker season. How do you show a house when you're a seamstress and you've got Nutcracker costumes everywhere?
You're like, there's 5,000 tutus piled up. They're like, what even is that? I bet you, Laura, I bet you $1 million. Every person that walked through there touched them. They were like, what is this? Because when you see the tutu, you're like, what is that? Yeah. Oh my
They
God.
usually hang upside down, so they are kind of unusual.
You're
It's
like,
like decorating.
Oh, I love it. All right. Who else is working on things? We haven't heard from Cindy, Judy, Carol. You have your hand. Yes.
Okay, I can't show you because it's my swap mini quilt, but right now I'm drawing little lines so I can do lots of tiny half square triangles.
That's a good idea, Judy. Carol, I think I'm going to work on my swap too.
Since that's got a deadline, I gotta prioritize. So,
what colors are you using?
It's all right. I hold it way back here.
Oh,
Pink
cute.
With color bubbles. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think my swap partner's on here. I should check.
Mine. I think my swap partner's Kathy, and she's not here. She's on retreat. Ooh, so I could show you if I was working on it.
I finished my top last night.
For
But
the
my
top?
swap partner is on the call, so no, you guys can't.
So yeah, lots of lines. And
Yes. Yes.
I cut the squares yesterday.
Oh, good. Well, moving forward.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna cut the Rococo garden.
The Rococo one. Yes. Somebody else was posting theirs and it was in purples. It was really pretty.
That's mine.
Oh,
That's my fabric anyway. Thank you.
wait, but they sewed it. There was
Oh,
another
no.
one in the Facebook group that posted it. Was
Oh, no, I just had the fabric.
oh, okay. I'm like, wait a minute.
Purple florals. I don't
Yeah.
normally do florals, but I thought, oh, that's kind of cute. So
Yeah.
I'll give it a try.
Oh, fun. All right. Judy, you're muted. What's that?
When we did the retreat in November, somebody was working on these like moths or butterflies.
Me.
And we saw it done. Is it done? Can we see?
I'll show you what I'm still I'm doing the quilting. It's decorative quilting top stitching. And so it's making me a little bit nervous, but I'm working my way through
beautiful.
it. See if I can do this.
Oh my God.
Oh, that is just gorgeous.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Pretty.
Wow.
So I've done a little bit of the black so far.
Yes.
And then I got a curved ruler to try to make the lines on the
Oh, so you
on the
pre-marked
ribbon.
it so you could just follow the line?
That's what I'm gonna try to do. Yeah.
Yes.
With a walking foot.
Uh-huh.
So pretty. Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a little intimidating. So I do a little and then I put it away.
I bet. Well, and it's kind of tedious work. So
Yeah.
you can
and
only
my
handle so
shoulders
much.
actually, I
Yeah.
find myself like, so
That is gorgeous. What pattern was that?
it's called Moths and Moons. It's Jane Sassaman. She does a lot of art, and that's where I learned the fusible applique method. And it's a ton of that to make the moths. Well,
Yeah.
and the backing too, with the moons and the garland, and oh my gosh, lots of cutting and lots of
Force you into learning technique. Yeah.
yes, totally. And now I'm learning how to try not to be too terrified to do these these decorative lines.
And that's the thing, is just doing one at a time, one little thing at a time and being like, okay, today I'm doing this. And
Yep, a little black, and I did the outline, and
yeah.
so, and I have to remind myself, you are not Jane Sassaman. It will not look like hers because she's been doing this for years.
Don't compare, don't compare, don't compare. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So that's the same as, do what your, as Carol's, do what your eye likes. And it's okay. It's like, does your eye like it? Does it make you happy? It's good. Yeah.
And know that I've never done this before and go, okay,
Yes.
gonna have a few warts here and there, but I've learned
That's
a lot.
what's hard too, is when you look back, you're like, ooh, I'm finishing this and what I just did is beautiful. And then you look back and you're like, the beginning, but
Yep.
it is with anything too. Yeah.
So it made the applique on the homestead block with the flowers.
You're like, this is a piece of cake.
5 minutes. 5 minutes. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Made it a lot easier for sure. Because it used to intimidate me quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
Judy, are you working on something? We've got Judy and Vicky and
I
Sue,
am.
Joni.
I am. I have a great nephew that's going to come in the end of May. So I found this flannel or fleece. And so I bought pens so everybody could color on it.
Oh my gosh, how fun.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
my goal today is to break out my serger and put an edge around it.
Mm.
And then I have my Saturday afternoon quilt. It's all quilted. And I'm putting my flange on. I do it the old fashioned way.
The flange.
And then my binding is all made. So hopefully I get that done too today.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Yes.
Yeah. And then I'm practicing my ruler work because I finally got my ruler foot.
Yes.
And so I'm just going to practice some more ruler work too.
Nice.
I know. There we go.
Oh my. Yeah, I went to Handy Quilter Monday with my friend because she's looking at long arm machines. So I'm like, let's just run down to Handy Quilter. I know a couple people who work there and we can try their machines. So it's upstairs and they have all their classroom machines and stuff, played on the Moxie and stuff like that. But yeah, fun.
I know. So it's a good day.
Yeah. Cindy, Joni, Joyce, Sue, anybody want to share? Joni, yes.
I'm going to get caught up on 2 block of the months, yours and the American Patchwork block of the month.
Oh, nice.
And if I've got time, I want to do the jelly roll.
Yeah. Do you have them cut yet? Do you have the other blocks cut?
Part of them.
Oh, okay. So
And I've got section 1 all done of yours, but I got to do section 2.
yeah. So first goal is cut the pieces and then yeah. Yeah, nice.
And I'm going to be behind after that for a while because my husband's got some problems and we need to get some doctor stuff done.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so perfect time, Joni, for maybe making some hand sewing kits.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're sitting for a long time, keep your fingers busy and your mind off of things. But yeah, English paper piecing, which we haven't hit yet, but there's a couple patterns in there with the hexagons and stuff. But yeah. Whoa. That's a lot of stuff happening, isn't it? Moving, health, 2 biggies. Yeah. It's like everybody. Yeah.
I am not moving.
You're not moving.
Don't make me move. I hate it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're gonna carry me out. They're gonna carry me out of here kicking and screaming.
On your sewing table. That's how they'll carry you back.
Pull me out.
On your ironing board. They'll just grab your ironing board and lift you out. No, that's the way you move is they grab your machine and move it. And then you're like, well, I have to be there.
Oh my.
So people that have moved, did you let them take your machines or did you put them in your car? I mean, obviously long arms, you're not gonna put in your car, but.
No,
Well,
my
all of them I
machines
would
will be in
put
the car.
Well, yeah.
Mine have always
It's
gone in the
my
car.
embroidery machine or my dog.
I have room for both.
The dog can sit on the embroidery machine. I'm just saying. Put a couple quilts on top. He'll fly.
right.
Yep.
It's the padding, and he'll know that seat very well. He'll want to take it over anyways. So yes.
Of course, my machine will smell like dog by the time we get there.
Yeah. Could put it in a garbage bag. I'd hate to say that and have it thrown away, but you could wrap it in something. Like maybe that wouldn't be so good, but I don't know.
Actually, I have, the luggage for when you go to a class.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I will put quilts or fabrics in it to pad it out.
Yep.
But I think my most precious machine will go in the car, but I've got 2 or 3 others. So, well, I have my trusty FOF that I use for.
I know. Yeah.
And it's from 87 and it's starting to kind of get finicky and they can't get the motherboard, but I'm going to use it till I can't.
Yeah.
And I have this 1950 Singer 99K that I thought was real special. And my mom just told me, because, oh, your grandmother bought that at a garage sale.
Well, that's a good story.
So it's a great machine, but it doesn't have the family history that I thought it did.
Oh, it was the yard sale. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. She bought it for $50.
I just bought a treadle, Singer treadle.
Oh, fun.
I'm trying to find out the model.
Uh-huh.
I found that based on the serial number, it was probably made in 1904.
Awesome.
So it's not working. I'm missing a couple parts. I bought it on Facebook Marketplace. I've always wanted one. Now I want the featherweight.
I do too. I'd love a featherweight, but you almost have to find it somewhere where they don't know the value of it.
I found my featherweight at a yard sale and I got in the car and I just started screaming and called my mom because I'm like, I just stole it from that lady. I think I paid like $15 for it. Like, I'm serious. I'm like, I just stole that machine from her.
Kind of like walk away nonchalantly.
Yeah, calm down. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. And then you get in the car.
I have.
I just bought a old Singer machine. I didn't even know what it was. I just looked and saw it was a Singer. It was in the cabinet, and it's a cabinet you don't have to fold out or anything, and it's solid teak, and goes with all of our dining room stuff is solid teak. So I told it's got to go in the dining room.
Yeah.
But it's a Singer 648, which was probably mid to late 60s sometime, but it's called a touch and sew. And it was one of the first dribbles into embroidery and sewing. It's not, didn't call it embroidery, but it's got, you can make flowers and border stitches and twin stitch borders and stuff.
Oh my gosh, how fun. Yeah.
So I'm working on cleaning it up.
Oh, that's fun.
It's in good condition.
Yeah.
Still good condition.
I have my grandmother's old treadle. Where do you find parts to get it fixed?
There's a parts online that has lots of parts for I think all kinds of different machines.
Right.
Like, they're pretty reasonable.
And do they have like manuals online on how to fix it, or do you take it somewhere? Or
Yeah, there are manual. I found a manual for mine. Of course, it was a PDF, so I had to print it out.
Yeah.
And then I found a YouTube video of how to clean it and take it apart. So it was a woman from England, beautiful accent, and she was taking the whole thing apart and how to clean it with things that you could get at your hardware store, your grocery store. But the parts online, I needed a foot for piecing, and they have it. They have Singer parts there. So
yeah.
There's actually a website on how to clean and refer all singers.
Yeah. There's a lady, Andy Barney, it's ANDI BARNEY, and I don't know. I'll see if I can find her things and put it in the forum, because she's traveling around right now, but she does wonderful work on sewing machines, and she was working on doing online teaching class online on how to clean your machines, different machines, and she does everything, the whole gamut. So
that's cool. And Andrew Barney.
Yeah, she has green hair.
Andy Barney, green hair.
Right.
Sewingpartsonline.com.
What was that?
Resource. Sewingpartsonline.com.
Okay.
That's another.
Guys.
Oh, I have a beautiful featherweight that I'm thinking about selling, but I'm not giving it away. So if you want to pay me, I'll sell it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I may take you up after we move. I don't want to move another
You
machine.
don't have to ship it. Yes. Yeah.
But sell it before then if you need to.
Well, I have two, and originally I had three, and I sold one a couple years ago, and then I just haven't been using the second one. So, but I'm sitting here sewing on my featherweight right now.
Where do you live, Dixie?
Wow.
I'm north of San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, okay. A little bit far away.
Does anybody else have anything to share working on? What are you doing today? Cindy? Cindy does.
I'm working on my jelly roll race.
On your jelly roll race? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm doing it spread out all over, of course. It's purples and
you are a purple gal. So that's
I'm a purple gal. Purples.
Me too,
green,
Cindy.
and then I got the green petite to go with it.
Fun.
I've not done a jelly roll race before.
Oh, this will be fun then. Yeah. Cindy Miletta, you have one as well?
I do.
Oh, purples and teals. I love it.
Then there's blues and grays in here.
Did you cut them
And
yourself?
I hand cut all my strips.
I was going to say, that's the
Wow.
best way to use fabric though. Seriously, if you've got a stash, why not?
Well, I didn't, sit and hand cut these this week. I went through, I have my box.
Yeah.
And then I rated different things.
Yes.
And this is I'm doing the drag race that Cindy had put on the site. And these are
your brick blocks or whatever they are. That's off
my
the stick.
passing lane.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I love it.
And
look at that. Oh my
Those are
gosh, so pretty.
Ooh, look at you. That's so
And
nice.
it's just gonna have to fray.
Yep, that's how mine is.
And I thought, well, why couldn't I put freight check on it? And then I thought, well, it would it stain? And I thought I would, so I can. Dapple. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I shouldn't have had red flowers.
I love it. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. Yeah. That'll go really well with your other ones.
So I did applique this time.
Congratulations. I love it. Anybody else have anything to share before we hop off and go sew?
I can show you my fabrics.
All right, Lucy's going to show us her fabric, and Pat has a question.
This is for the April project. So I'm working on one of the blocks, like it's the French Up Star.
Oh, yes.
Here's all my fabrics, my background. This will be the binding.
I love a stripe binding.
And then I think this is my border. And then
those are like the 9 patch blocks or whatever. Yeah. Oh, yes.
That's going to be my 9 patch block.
Yes.
And then accents to that. So.
Ooh, those are fun prints. I love the curve because you don't necessarily have to worry about direction so much.
Yeah, and I picked
like the half square triangle
that aren't directional.
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, they're sorta, but they're not important.
They're more busy prints. I love it. Yeah. Ooh, I'm excited to see.
I know. Anyway, I wanted to be further along, but I got sidetracked this week, and since I retired at the beginning of the month.
Yes, how's that been going?
Hey.
I signed up for a class, an online class to make a book.
Oh, yes.
I did this. I did the sewing on it. These are all watercolor papers inside. And
so is that the saddle stitch?
No, it's called Coptic.
Oh my gosh, how fabulous. Was it so much fun? I've always loved books.
So much fun. And I just did scrapbook paper online. And so I've been doing painting for years. So I had watercolor paper and had lots of supplies. I didn't have to buy a single thing.
That's the best thing, isn't it? Seriously. I love exploring new things. Vicki.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Lucy, are you using the mini ruler or the regular ruler?
The mini. So the QCR mini is what I have.
Okay.
Pat, what was your question?
When you're sewing your jelly roll race and you're sewing your strips together, are you doing straight end to end or on an angle?
I do end to end.
Okay, and you're doing on the angle. Okay.
Oh, you mean join?
Yeah, when you're joining the two strips.
Oh.
Are you doing it like this?
Like a mitered seam or no?
No, I did mine straight.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying this one to see if it comes up like mine.
Oh, and Cindy's doing the miter on it.
You know what? I can't remember how I did mine.
I wanted to practice this anyway for like
I always do
borders.
miter.
Yeah,
for binding and stuff. That's perfect.
Yeah, so that'd be a great way to practice.
I'm sorry, if you're doing the drag race, you're supposed to do the mitered corner. I watched Donna's video yesterday just to make sure.
Yeah, I was organized, so I have to watch the video.
Yeah. Yeah. That's me. Pause, do. Pause.
I love her videos. She's great.
Yeah.
Where do we sign up for the retreat?
Let me show you.
Thank you.
Yes.
I get lost so easy.
No, it's fine. And then it's under the member discounts. That one gives you a link that you can use. So it'll pop the discount in there. The discount will show up at checkout. So don't be frightened about it until you go to checkout.
Okay.
Let's see. There
I
we
thought I was signed in, but evidently I'm not.
Okay, Bobby, I just put it in the things in the.
Carol, those are pretty.
It's
I'm
always
sorry,
fun to-
Becky. you were
I just put it in
the
the
what?
chat.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's a link to the discount page. And then at the discount page is right at the top. You just click that and it should automatically add that in there for you. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How many do you have, Becky?
What's that?
How many do you have?
I think almost 25. So we had another bunch pull in yesterday. So not a ton, but yeah, a good number start. Yeah, I'm working on the kits. I got to get my kits going. I have all the supplies. I need to figure out a pattern for the little hoop project. So that's on my list. Yeah. And then I'm like, well, I should probably have more than one pattern to choose from so everybody could do something different if we wanted. So anyways, the brain is a buzz. I need to catch up to it. Always my problem. Always my problem. All right. Anybody have anything else to share? We'll be off until 2 o'clock. There's Lucy with hers. So Lucy's got her. You did do straight stitches or straight seams, not a miter.
Quadrants, though, right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Neat.
Oh,
I like
okay.
that.
Yeah, so the square in the center is pretty big, so it's pretty easy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like 8-inch or something. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I could not picture that because I can't do that, but that's so cool.
You can do it.
Yeah, it
Now,
makes it a
I
little
can
easier.
do that. I see it, but trying to picture it when someone's describing it.
Right.
I know, and sometimes if I haven't done them for a while, I have to like.
I have to watch YouTube.
I
Yeah.
have to or figure it out in my head. Okay, how do I do
Or
this?
pin it again, and you're like, okay, if my pins are where I sew, and then okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I
Thank
just got
you,
a
Lucy.
stash of 2.5-inch strips, and I just picked random strips from it.
I think I have that same Paisley center fabric.
Carol, well, I know that. Yeah. And then you're like, where is that? Did I even ever use it in anything? That's
Yes, it's in one of my earlier quilts, which is on my bed underneath the nicer one.
Oh, nice.
No.
The layer effect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all right. Okay. So we're good. We'll see you in a couple hours.
Have fun.
Great.
Have fun. Good luck.
Bye, everybody.
Thank
Bye,
you. We'll see you later.